How are damages determined in a sexual harassment lawsuit? Well, if we're talking about a lawsuit that proceeds to trial and you prevail, you win, and the jury finds for you, then they have to consider basically four types of damages. One, how much money did you lose? Were you fired as a result of the sexual harassment? What did it cost you before you found another job, a comparable position? And it is the requirement of the law that the employee, the sexually harassed employee, mitigate her damages, which is a fancy phrase for saying you have to prove that you did everything you can to get back in the saddle and get another job. So if you were out of work, for example, for a year after you were terminated in the sexual harassment claim, the jury can award you a year's pay. That's your back pay. And there may also be some front pay, but it's really about the compensation for the fact that you lost your job for no legitimate reason based on sexual harassment. The second type of damage is emotional distress, sometimes called pain and suffering. In order to obtain the most that a jury would give you for that, and those numbers don't tend to be particularly large, you need to be in treatment, meaning that you have consulted with a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a mental health professional who has determined that you have anxiety, major depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, for example, and it resulted from your experiences and the degradation that you suffered in the workplace due to the sexual harassment. The third type of damage are punitive damages. That, of course, requires a jury verdict, and if a jury determines that your company was so outrageous in its response to your sexual harassment complaint situation, and that it shocks the conscience of the jury, and they determine that no civilized nation should condone this type of corporate conduct, they can punish the company. And these are sometimes where you read the bigger numbers come into play, because the company with much revenue will be punished typically with a larger number to send a message to this company and to other companies like it to not allow these things to happen. And the fourth type of damage is attorney's fees to you if you win. Your lawyer gets paid by the company, and that also saves you and provides much more award. It saves you a lot of money, because otherwise those attorney's fees would have come out of your win or your settlement. Here, the company is paying your lawyers. So back pay damages, emotional distress, punitive damages, and attorney's fees, these are the universe of monies that you can obtain after a successful jury verdict. But keep in mind, the vast majority of cases, so likely your own, is not going to make it to trial, because most cases, the vast majority of cases, either settle at some point or they're dismissed by a federal or state court. So it is best to, if by the time you've gotten to trial, presumably you've had much advice and you have tried many times to resolve your claim. But when you do settle a claim, it's a compromise based on the same factors, except not generally punitive damages or even the attorney's fees. It's really based on two things: the money that you lost and maybe continuing to lose as a result of the discrimination, the sex discrimination, and damages for your emotional distress. If you have any questions at all about your own sexual harassment case and want to discuss it with us for a first or second opinion in terms of the value of your claim, please reach out to us. My name is Jack Tuckner. The firm is Tuckner, Sipser, Weinstock & Sipser, based in New York. We've been doing this since 1999, representing and advocating for women's rights in the workplace, and we will consult with you at no charge to you and in total confidence. Take care.